Hey, so you know who I'm really jealous of? People who can sculpt. All my hobby idols can sculpt, and I really want to learn too. A month or so ago, I sculpted this weird alien plant, and it was my first attempt to sculpt anything, and today will be my second. I'm making a giant toad for my Nurgle army. It would be accounts as Plague Toad, and I'm modelling it off a beloved Australian icon, the cane toad. I'm drawing out my ideas before sculpting in an attempt to get familiar with the forms and shapes and sizes that I'm typically seeing in my reference images. The goal here isn't to draw well. It's certainly not to draw well. It's to help me understand what I'm looking at, really seeing, or at least attempt to. I'm using polymer clay for this, in this case, fimo. I got it from the discount rack, so it's very crumbly, but it was very important to me to get that iconic Games Workshop green color that I admired so much as a kid, so I managed to bring the clay back to life with a little bit of super sculpy and some very hard kneading. Jumping to the computer now, I made a page of reference images. If there's anything to take away from this exercise, it's reference images are essential, and you should be using them for more than just sculpting, also in terrain building and painting too, and that's something I'm going to do a whole lot more of in the future. Aluminium foil bulks out the body, so I'm not wasting any material, and it gives me a nice base to work from. I'm using a clay tile to sculpt on because it's flat and oven safe. If I was to do this again, I'd put a hole in the tile to add a peg or a screw to securely fix the model to the base, but honestly, it wasn't really a big deal. This whole process is mostly looking at reference photos and trying to break down what I'm seeing into basic shapes, starting with a very loose form and eventually adding more and more layers of refinement. It's all about the big picture here, I think. The golden rule here is don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to change things. Don't be afraid to start bits again. Don't be afraid to cut things off that you don't like or scrap things altogether. Just do it and give it a go. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But remember, you've made it once and you can do it again. And the second time is always better anyway. So just be brave with your decisions. Okay, let's talk about tools really quickly. This is the tool I used for just about everything, and while I was sculpting I made more tools as the need sort of arose. I made this tool, which I made for the toad's cheek, and using some sculpy I made these for poking pus holes and making very juicy warts. The eyes are ball bearings from an old skateboard wheel bearing, and honestly, it made my life a whole lot easier than trying to sculpt eyeballs. This whole process took maybe 6 hours of work, but time flew by and it was such a joy because every layer of refinement was another rush of excitement as things started to come together and start looking like an actual thing. Before throwing this in the oven to bake, it was time to smooth it out, and I got this tip from the craftsman. All I'm doing is brushing on some isopropyl alcohol, which melts the surface a bit and gets rid of any fingerprints or clay crumbs, and overall just makes it look legit. Man, this the sculpt, it makes me very happy. I'm so proud of it, and I can't wait to have it in my army to show off all 24 of them. Yeah, you'll see. You'll have to wait for that bit, but part 3 of this series will be out very shortly, so stay tuned. And I also want to say a big thank you for all the support recently, all the new patrons, the sales on miscast.co, all the new subscribers. It's been incredible, and the frequency of uploads has 100% been a result of your support. So I just want to say thank you. Okay, I'll see you in a mo. Bye.